Welcome to Heck Yeah, I'd Eat That, Episode 1. 10 spoons I would eat if they were edible. That was written for Rage Bait. I'm sorry. Our first spoon is what I would call the, I don't know, vulture wooden spoon. It's giving flamingo. Now, I would approach it like this. I would not eat the top part until the very end. That seems like the money piece right there for me. So, like, I would start off at the bottom and then I would probably nibble the sides of the spoon part until it mimicked the handle of the actual handle. Yeah, you see how gracious I am with how I'm phrasing that? Yeah, cool. But anyways, I would like nibble down the sides and then I would eat it from the bottom all the way to the top. Again, saving that big head piece right there. Right. These are the Japanese ceramic spoons. Oh yeah, I would eat these. Now, the problem is that I would eat a lot of these. And they probably wouldn't have too much flavor. It's probably just sugar and water and and everything, just like a whole lot of nothing. However, the colors would get me. And for some reason, I would just sit here and say that the red would be my favorite even though there's probably no discernible differences between them, but the red would always be my favorite. This particular spoon is giving, if I crunch on it too hard, I'm going to chip my teeth, but I'm going to crunch on it anyways. Now, granted, I would try really hard to just like suck on them and, but I would give in and then I would crunch and I just couldn't help myself. And I don't know about you, but they look like they would give a very, very satisfying crunch. And I just wouldn't be able to help myself. And before I know it, there'd be like, 20 of them gone. All right, for this next spoon, I can't even remember what number we're actually on here, but this spoon I would eat in a variety of ways. Okay, so like sometimes, okay, but it always would start very much the same. I would eat the hand, like the sides all the way around the face here of Nicolas Cage. Just eat all the way around. And sometimes what I would do is eat from the bottom and then I would leave just the eyes. Okay. And then sometimes I would start at the eyes and leave just the mouth. Or if I was feeling, like trying to be like, extra, I would just eat from the bottom and the top and then just leave the nose and then eat the nose at the end. So this would be a very like I would eat this in a variety of ways each and every time. There would be no one way I would eat this, except again for the sides all the way around. That's a given. I always have to do that. Okay, now I would definitely want to eat these. I would like, I would be trying my best to resist eating them because they're so pretty. These are the kind of spoons I would like have to resist eating. And I would try to save them for like maybe a special occasion or something. But what would end up happening is I would end up losing one of them. I would break the other one, and then the remaining would literally just be so like almost stale by the time I got to them because they'd just been sitting there for so long. Now, how do spoons get stale? I don't make the rules here. That's just what would happen. So yeah, again, and it's a shame. I think that like we should eat things that are beautiful and not try to save them. But unfortunately, I would try to save these. All right, these were a bit difficult for me, not because I wouldn't eat them. Oh, I would totally devour these, okay? The problem is that as I am a carnivore, I definitely love meat. All right. That's not the issue. But having these birdies looking at me while I'm about to devour them would make me feel a little bit guilty. And so what I would do is I would have to eat these again in a very specific way, but it's not because of preference, it's because I just want to enjoy it. So I bite the birds off first. Out of all of them, I would just bite, 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 bite. And so, therefore, none of them are looking at me anymore. And then I can actually enjoy them the way that life has intended for me to enjoy these. Um, I could see myself going either from bottom to the top or top to bottom. So, really, there's just probably two ways of eating this for me. But I could see myself actually probably starting off with the main spoon part and then eating like that wonderful twig shape all the way to the top. So, yeah. But those birds have got to go. I will not feel guilty for trying to enjoy myself. Now, this spoon gives duality right here, okay? It gives richness and lusciousness, but then it gives this kind of light and airiness, right, at the spoon part. And so for me, there are technically two ways to eat this. Like for instance, I think that the handle would be very rich and very sweet and very, decadent. And so if I could start there and end it on something light and airy at the bottom of the spoon, right? I could do that. However, I feel that the richness of the handle would overwhelm the delicateness of the bottom of the spoon. So for me, now granted, if you want to eat it in a different way, that's perfectly fine, of course. But for me, I'm going to start at the light and airy part of the spoon so I can enjoy all the flavors and nuances of this delicacy, right? And then when I've enjoyed that, I can get into the richer notes of the rest of the spoon. And so therefore nothing's really lost here. And I feel that I've been able to properly enjoy this spoon as a whole. So yeah. All right, here. First of all, Lucy's very rude to just put her name on her spoon like she owns it. And then not only does she put her name on the spoon, she decides what can actually be used with that spoon. Absolutely not, Lucy. I am going to use that spoon. And not only am I going to use that spoon, I'm going to use it for a variety of different things. So it will be used for cookie butter slash Biscoff. Okay. It will be used for almond butter. Okay. I don't even care for almond butter. But you know what? In this case, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that almond butter. And what about Nutella, Lucy? How about I put some Nutella on that spoon? Yeah, don't tell me what I can and cannot do on that spoon before I eat it, all right? And then I'm just going to eat the actual part of her name first because, again, I don't appreciate her branding a spoon, a general use spoon. I don't know who she thinks she is. So her name's going to go first, and then I'll continue eating it until there's nothing left of anything of hers on there. So too bad, Lucy. All right, here we go with a brass dragon spoon. Okay, looking like something out of Game of Thrones or House of Dragons, which, by the way, I have not seen House of Dragons yet, and I do need to see that. Now, this particular spoon is very interesting. I love the shape of this spoon. Um, Granted, though, I think by default I have to eat the spoon from the bottom up. Okay, now before I eat the spoon, I will have to make dragon noises with the spoon and just act like it's flying around. I have no choice. I have no choice. Again, I don't make the rules. All right. Now, I would, of course, grab it and go rar, but again, I started thinking. I started thinking when I was deciding how I felt about this spoon. how do we know what dragons sound like? You know what I mean? We're just making it up, right? Dragons are mythology, which means they're real. And so, how do we know what they sounded like? For all we know, they sounded like, what is that sound that's going around? A roar, a roar. I'm breathing my dragon fire on you. Roar, roar. See, they could have sounded like that. So what I would do is probably play with a variety of sounds, trying to honor the dragon and not pigeonhole it into one type of sound. And then I would eat them. And then I would eat them. So yeah. All right. I feel like with these, there's only one way to eat these spoons. Only one way. I'm sorry. Again, I don't make the rules here. You have to eat the edge all the way around the spoon. You've got to eat all around the spoon first, and then you eat the remainder of the spoon. Okay, you have to nibble all around. All the color portion of that spoon has to come off first, and then you eat the remainder of it. But you know what? Now that I think about it, you could eat the stem all the way up there, up to the, the top part of the spoon, and then eat the edge, and then eat the center. So, okay, maybe I'm not fully like, committed to the idea that there's only one way, but like I feel like there really is only like one reasonable way, and then the other way you can actually make allowances for. Yeah. All right. These spoons taste like absolutely nothing, but they're amazing to eat. They're very delicate. They're not going to chip your teeth like those other ceramic ones. I feel like they would be like just wonderful shards of just sweetness, It's like something like I could see this being kind of like the spoon like that you get to eat like after a fancy restaurant or something. Like when they bring you the bill, they bring you like a couple of these. Like Andy's mint, but like how you always wish they would bring you more of them. Yeah, yeah. Oh, like, though, when I am nice to a server, sometimes I get extra mint. It's really sweet. Like, they'll be like super sweet and throw like several more into the thing and like a whole handful into the bag. So sweet. And this is what this gives me. These spoons give me those vibes. And I actually feel like I need to order those spoons for real because they are really, really cute. They're like the ones that come in the gelato. But definitely, I want to eat them. Will I eat them? No, don't eat them, kids. Okay? This is just for entertainment purposes only. We do not eat spoons unless the spoons are specifically eatable. All right? There you go. Bye, guys. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to ask you if you like this and like it and like follow me, and if you have anything you'd like me to eat, like put it in the comments. And thanks for watching. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but thanks for following along.